Well, heck, check 1, 2, 3, checking 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, okay, looking good there. We got audio. We got audio. We got video. Yeah. We got Tim. Hello, Tim. Welcome. Oh, goodness. It is a rainy day down here in Fairhope, Alabama. The rain came in last night, expected to stay here all day. It is the kind of day where you just want to take a nap. Not really. Too busy to take a nap. Excited about today's show, but I'm always excited about the shows. But today's show is going to be about, this is something I've struggled with, at least up here, for years in trying to figure out, how can you get a remote camera into a remote location without spending a ton of money. And I've come up with a couple ideas, and I want to share one this week. And maybe one next week or the week after. So, yeah. Hey, Kyle. Welcome, sir. Glad to have you. Tim missed a few shows because they were hauling furniture from Marianna, Alabama. No, Marianna, Florida, excuse me, to Oak Hill. Is it Oak Hill? Is that Florida, too? Hey, Tommy. Good to see you. Glad to have you. Congratulations on, what was it? I saw 10 smoke-free years. That's awesome. That is really awesome. That for anybody out there that's trying to give up smoking, keep doing it. I think I quit 7 or 8 times before it finally took. That was, in my 30s when I was young and more stupid than I am now. Oh my gosh. And Bill on the Mississippi coast, is it raining over your way too? Tommy, funny that you would mention drone because I have recently gotten one and tried it out while I was on holiday last week. And I was very impressed. I haven't tried it on live streaming yet, but in terms of, controlling it and getting video and that kind of stuff, it looks like it's very promising. It does have some regulations as to where you can fly it. So you wouldn't be able to fly it over a football stadium, for example, or a baseball stadium. And so I'm not sure what the count is in the number of people that is kind of required to make it a go, no-go situation. But there is a number somewhere. Yeah. And that's what I want to explore a little bit. And I've got some ideas. If you can park the drone in the air across the street from the stadium, in a empty field or a parking lot or something where you're not liable to have people around, and then zoom into the stadium, I think you can get a nice kind of Goodyear blimp shot. Yes, I am droning on and on. No, it's funny, Bill. One of my boys gave me an inexpensive drone probably 3 or 4 years ago, and I just didn't see it. I couldn't see the video, couldn't see where I was going. If the thing got way up there and I couldn't see it anymore, it was lost. So that never really happened for me. But that's right, Tommy, a GPS drone can hover in a certain spot. That's right. Tim says, anyone who needs to pass the test, I can help. Well, then, Tim, I might be calling you. Yes, indeed. Tim says 30,000 people is the cutoff. Wow. There you go. Kyle's summer class on video production went well. Used the free basic version of vMix, and it had the majority of the functions you wanted to teach. Well, that's a great idea. That's a great use of the free version, too, since you couldn't use a trial version. Yeah, apparently vMix keeps the IP addresses of people that download trial versions. And, if you download it, 3, 4, 5, 20 times, sooner or later, they say, you're not doing this because you just need a trial. Kyle, the one I got is the DJI Mini 2, and that has been just recently superseded by the DJI Mini 3. And I thought, well, that's a great time to pick up the older model. I like a deal. And, I don't know what I'm missing because I've never really driven one before. But, yeah, I've watched YouTube videos and it's got amazing range. The most I've been able to get out of it was like a half a mile. But for me, that was just a major breakthrough to have it, go out of sight where I can't see it, it's gone. And to be able to look down and see what it sees. Yeah. And I think when I figure out the live streaming part of it, I'll probably have it in a live stream here on one of these shows. Hello, DJ Vertigo. He has his drone certificate part 107. You can, in some situations, fly over people with the right type of drone. This is a sub 250 gram. So, yeah. Kyle says, whatever the limit is, we hit it. Yes, you did. I think they should have made some allowances for you guys, but, they don't listen to me. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they do. If I shout loud enough, they might. Kyle has got a DV Mavic Air 2 with the smart controller, which has the HDMI direct out. Ooh, that's nice. That's nice. Yeah. That was out of my budget. At least, for the first time. 3,000 people. DJ is correct. Remote ID after September 2023. Oh, wow. Yeah. Kyle gets nervous going much further. Did I miss a post here somewhere? No. I don't see that I missed one. Let's see over here. Did I miss a post? Oh well. It all worked out. Sub 250 gram doesn't matter. It's a commercial if it's a commercial use. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. If you're a volunteer and volunteering to get either a live shot or a recorded shot in those situations, does that make it commercial? I guess the use is really what's key. But again, let's take a scenario of a high school football game in a little small town in southern Alabama. And the local streaming people from the Booster Club that stream the football games want to add a little extra entrance. So they ask a volunteer to come give them some live footage of what's going on, at the stadium. Kind of it could be like a Goodyear blimp shot where they've got the big blimp that circles the stadium, not directly over the stadium, but around the stadium. Or it could be an actual shot in the stadium on the field. Who was it? The spring football league here in the U.S. I think had drones on the field with the players, and that was pretty interesting, I thought. Yeah, let's see. Let's mute this rascal before we get in trouble. Half mile. Yeah, the half a mile for me, Kyle, was just I was beginning to lose control, and the screen would flicker, and I said, okay, it's time to come back. But I have a feeling, had there not been buildings and a tree between me, or a whole bunch of trees between me and the drone, I could have gone a little further. Class 1, you can fly over crowds with prop covers. But it wouldn't be sub 250 if it had prop covers. It's 249 right now, and I doubt if I can find 4 prop covers that weigh totally less than a gram. But you never know. And over the field can be okay if you're not flying over people. Well, how about in front of them or behind them? If it's commercial in any way, tickets sold, it doesn't matter if the drone is paid or not. Good. Goodyear needs a waiver from the FAA. Tommy says, wouldn't the time limit on batteries make short use of a drone? That's a good question. Hey, Marie, glad to have you. The drone, actually, the one I got came with 3 batteries, and each battery has about 20 to 25 minutes worth of use in it. So that would be, kind of the limit. It's, maybe a kind of a and again, it depends on how you're going to use it. If you're going to use it for a kind of an interest shot at halftime or during commercials or something like that, or are you going to use it to try to capture part of the play? Don't know. Tim says prop covers are part of the new remote ID locations. Aha. And you need the smaller battery. There you go, to not be over the limit. Aha, very good. Very good. Good to know. Well, drones sounds like they would be a good subject for us to talk about that. Yeah. I was waiting for the drone to hit someone when they were flying near the ground. Yeah. I guess you have to be pretty skilled. Keep from hitting. I ran into a couple of trees, so I probably shouldn't be on the ground near people. Hey, Ken. Ken, I've got some good news. Yes, I do. The Bird Dog P110, is that what it is? 120? No, the P120. They've been shipped to me. I'm going to check them out, double check the firmware, and ship them to you. Could happen as soon as this week. Today's Wednesday, so we don't have much time left. Holy cow. Tried a drone once, but the football refs said to take it down. Well, yeah. You gotta pay attention to those guys. Well, let's do a show on that, and we'll see what we can figure out. DJ says you can also get a parachute with Class 2 drones and be compliant. There you go, so that it doesn't crash into somebody. It just parachutes down in case there's a failure. Good. All right, well, let's get this show here on the road, and we will, we're going to have a show here in the future about drones. I can see that already. Pressing the pink button on my highly professional X keys 80. Actually, I probably need to dress it up one day, but I know the keys and I know where they are and I know the color pattern, and that's really what matters. Let's start the show. Ta-da! I love it. I love it. Hey, welcome. I'm Tom Sinclair. This is Streaming Idiots, where we talk about all things live streaming, because if you live stream long enough, sooner or later, you feel like an idiot. You forget to hit record. I mean, can we name all the idiotic things that we've ever done while we were live streaming, or while we were supposed to be live streaming? Like, forget to hit the stream button. I've done that. Forget to hit the record button. Forget to unmute your mic. I mean, I can go down the whole list. And yeah, so there we go. But today, I'm excited about today's show. Today, we are going to talk about sports live streaming. It could be recording too, but mostly live streaming. And the challenge that live streamers face, especially folks that are on a budget, that are funding this out of their own pocket, or have, some small sponsorships to help fund it. How do we get a camera in a location that we either shouldn't or couldn't easily get a camera? For example, baseball. We want to get a camera out in center field, past the fence, so that we can get that shot looking in at the batter, looking between the batter, get the batter and the catcher and the pitcher and the umpire, get all four of those people in the shot. But you have to be a long way away. Or let's say another one. Let's say it's American football and you want to get a camera in the end zone. Maybe put it up on one of those telescoping tripod kind of things, or just mount it somewhere on a post, obviously way back, clear of the field. Maybe you want a PTZ camera so that you can control it remotely, so that you just have the camera there. I remember back in 2006. We were doing high school soccer, and this was all standard definition back then. And I thought, who needs high def? Anyway, that's a story for another time. And I wanted to we were doing soccer. It was in the football stadium, but it was soccer. And I wanted to put a camera in the end zone, behind the soccer goal, so that we could get that shot, maybe once a game, maybe twice a game, of the ball, kind of clearing the keeper and getting into the net. And I finally found in my collection of cameras a camera that I was willing to call a sacrificial camera. And I strapped it to the football goalposts, which were about, I don't know, maybe 10 or 15 feet, maybe 5 meters behind the soccer goal. And I said, okay, now that I've done that, how do I get the video signal back? How do I power it? Can't control it. It was a Panasonic 320p camera. 320p, not 3200p. 320p. It was like half standard definition. And I didn't know enough to know anything. So I bought a spool of 500-foot coax cable. Keep in mind, this is standard definition. And I got some whatever they were, the cable things for TV cable that have the little screws on them with the little wire poking out. And I got some adapters for those that would adapt to an RCA jack. You remember the yellow RCA jacks? So it came out of the camera with the yellow RCA jack, came into this cable, and ran 500 feet of this coax, this stiff, unbending, unforgiving coax cable through off the side of the field, behind the bleachers, this giant concrete grandstand, and then threw a cable over the top of the grandstand and pulled my coax cable up, and then pulled it into the press box. I think I had 20, 30 feet to spare, something like that, and it worked. It was standard definition. Didn't have any control over anything, but I got a picture. And on occasion, that picture was, in fact, I sold a sponsorship for that camera. Somebody wrote me a check for $1,000 to sponsor that camera, and it became his company was made something called a life stick that basically was a thumb drive that had all your medical data on it. And so that was the life stick goal cam. And we made sure we used it whenever we could, obviously, to give the sponsor some of his bucks, some of his value. But on occasion, a soccer match would end in a tie. And after you went through the extra time, it would still be in a tie. And so you would go to what they call kicks from the mark, or a penalty shootout. And I knew a lot of the soccer people because all my boys played soccer. And sorry this story's going on longer, but I promise I'll sum it up real quick. And so I knew the referees too, because generally they played soccer as adults, and then they refereed also. So when I found out there was going to be a penalty shootout, I scurried out of the press box, down the stadium, onto the field, hollered to the refs, and said, is there any way we can get it down here? Because I've got a camera on this goal. And they said, if the coaches are okay with it, we're okay with it. And I knew both the coaches, and so I ran over to the coaches, said, are you okay with doing the penalty shootout down here? Because we've got a camera down here and we're live streaming. And they're like, yeah, that's fine, whatever, we don't care. Get out of our face. And so we did. And I think we said over the live stream, this is unusual. Call your friends that do soccer or that watch soccer or play soccer or have kids that play soccer, and get them to watch, because you may not see something like this again locally. And we watched our numbers, go from, I don't know, whatever they were, from 200 to 500 or something like that. It was pretty amazing at the time. And of course the camera did beautifully for a 320p camera, and the rest is history. Except after every game that we used it, we had to take the camera down, and we had to take a hose reel, a garden hose reel, and reel up that stuff, and then reel it back out the next day. So yeah, anyway, that's what made me come up with this concept to say, okay, what if we could do a permanent installation for a camera that didn't need coax or even SDI, because we're going to be more than 350 feet, whatever SDI's limit is. What if we could bury Ethernet, Cat6, weatherproof, groundproof, and then let it go all the way back to the press box? We have that magic limit of 321 or 323 or whatever it is. And so we have to have something in line that can magnify, amplify the signal. But yet we want to run PoE over that so that we can power the camera. And if it's a PTZ camera, we can power it, we can control it, we can take video from it. So we've got to be able to have that long run, be able to power, control, and take video. And so this is what I did. I went out and you can do this too. And if you're watching this after the fact, I'll put all the links to all this gear that we're going to fix and talk about into the description below. But let me get on the right page here. And this is the setup. I was, again, if you were here from the very beginning, it's a rainy day here. Can't get outside. I was intending to take this cable and stretch it out. I've got 600 feet of variable Ethernet cable, and I was going to stretch all 600 feet out from my studio to as far as I could get. But it's raining outside. I don't mind the cable because the cable is waterproof, but the camera isn't, and I just didn't feel like fighting it in the rain. So here is what I have. Yeah, right there. So what we've got is, you can see at the very bottom are 2 rolls of cable. And, well, let me see if we can get a little close up here. There we go. 2 rolls of cable. And I've unrolled just enough of the cable to plug into my switch, my PoE plus switch here. And you can see that little gray device back there. That is a PoE extender. And it's not put together properly. It's just hooked together for studio use. But you can see in the box behind it, there are a couple of fittings there that would be for variable waterproof use. So each one of those is 300 feet, and they're connected together. And then, of course, they go up to the camera that is right above. And let's see, can we find our way up to the camera? Yeah, there we go. Whoops, should have slowed down this. And so that is a PTZ Optics. Whoops, sorry. There we go. A PTZ Optics 20X NDI. And we can control it. So let's control it. Yep, little pan, little tilt. Yep. And I'm controlling it through vMix, so I've got to have at least vMix 4K or Pro in order to do that. And as you can see on the side of the camera, there is only one cable. There is just the PoE cable, the Ethernet cable, plugged in. Actually, I guess that's the back of the camera, but the camera is just turned towards us. And so yeah. And is the camera live? Yes, the camera's live. This is a shot from the camera looking back the other way. And that's the bird dog camera there. And we'll pan it and tilt it so that you can see it's moving. Can you see it move? I can't see it move. Looks pretty cool. This is the same camera that we used for the beauty pageant a while back, and we put it on the end of the runway. Excuse me. So that we could get shots of all the girls in their gowns. Yep. And so that's it. So it's basically, 2 parts. It's the roll of cable. 2 rolls of 300-foot waterproof outdoor direct burial Cat 6. In this particular case, this is something from Amazon called Ubi Gear. And then we used 1 waterproof direct burial PoE extender, and the brand is Fast Cabling. And, the beauty of this is, of course, that it works. Didn't mean to give you that camera shot. That's okay. It works. So what I imagine we would do is we would we would go out and take our spade, which is a flat-bottomed shovel with no edges on it, and we would stick the spade down in the ground about 4 to 6 inches, push it forward, tuck the cable in, and then go 6 more inches, tuck the cable in, and boom, we've buried it 6 inches below grade. And then at the end of the season, if we need the cable back, it's easy just to pull out because it's only 6 inches underground. And it doesn't need to be powered. The PoE extender is waterproof in and of itself. So it really is, a package deal. It doesn't have to be buried, but it can be buried. Now, I did have a situation where we put a PTZ Optics PoE camera at a water park. Actually, it was at a dolphin tank in Panama City, Florida. And I think they didn't listen to me. They didn't listen to me, the folks that were doing the installation. They did the installation of the cable. I came back and did the installation of the camera, and we were setting it up with a vMix system. But they just ran like 450 feet of Ethernet, and they said, and I had a Ethernet extender, PoE extender that I was going to use, and they said, well, if we have to cut the cable and put that in, it's just a couple of ends, and it wasn't going to be buried, so it was okay. But it worked, and it continued to work after that. So I think the 323 foot limit, whatever that really is a theoretical limit. And in real life, we were able to get PoE to 400 feet. So, but I would much rather, if I were, I tried to get them to do it my way, but they wouldn't do it my way. But if I were doing it, I would do it with a PoE extender in the middle. That way I knew I didn't have to worry that I would wake up one day and it wouldn't work. But I can see this great for a football field, depending on, how you're going to get the cable under. If it's a football field with a track around it, how you're going to get the cable under the track. It may be that, you have to have a certain amount of the cable that gets stored on a reel or just gets spooled up and hung on a hook and then unspooled for football. But yeah, that's it. So again, let me bring the list up in case you missed it. 2 rolls of 300-foot waterproof outdoor direct burial Cat 6 cable. Now the question I've got, and then the waterproof direct burial PoE extender, and both of these from Amazon. I'll put an Amazon link below. It'll probably be an affiliate link, so forgive me of that. I wonder if you could do 3 rolls. That would be 900 feet with 2 extenders. I'll have to read up and see from the extender people if you can extend it more than once. But I'll let you know. So, yeah, we're going to look in the chat for some questions. But, in fact, why don't we do that right now? Why don't we write that right down? Let's pull that up. Where is that page? There it is. There we go. Kyle is saying for a temporary setup for softball, he used this device, but it gave him a connection to the camera at first base and then out to center field. The device was connected back to a switch. Well, there you go. That's the ticket. And this could be used for, if you were going to do fixed cameras, you could use this same type of setup everywhere. Now, 300 feet of cable might make it all the way down to first base, depending on what you have to go around. Might make it down to third base. So, fixed cameras there, and then a fixed camera in the outfield, and then a manned camera. Well, maybe not even a fixed camera, but put POEs all those places with preset shots so that you can just click on them and go. But yeah, there you go. Kyle said, I did piggyback 2 of those devices just today. Wow. So how did it go? How did it work? And Jan says, if you go to Cat 6A, later on you can upgrade to 10G. Well, there you go. I like that. I like that a lot. All right, hold on. Let's get the rest of this page up so we can see. And I know Ken has done some of this too. Let's see if we've got some comments from Ken. Ken says, power usually goes to 2 corners of the football field, home side. Oh, so he's going to do both end zones. There you go. And use a 4-inch plastic conduit. Oh, so that you can walk over it and drive over it. There you go. Ken says his football coach has a Huddle wireless system, which also has a camera and a Wi-Fi transmitter in the end zone. Yeah, they do that for the end zone camera because they want to get that end zone shot, which could be an interesting shot too if you could get access, and get them to share the video with you. Kyle says his piggyback of 2 of the devices works. Well, there you go. I love it. I love it. So now as we're getting kind of ready, it's June, but I'm thinking about the fall already. I'm thinking about football. thinking about all the things that might take some planning and some acquisition and some testing. But yeah, I can see putting some of this gear. In fact, there's a device, excuse me just a second, there we go. There's a device, a cover, a protective cover that you can put a PTZ camera in and leave it there, because you can get covers that are either heated, cooled, or just ventilated. And depending on the specs for the camera, ventilation might be all you need. And the ventilation would run PoE plus, I think, and would also have a PoE connection inside the fixture that would power the camera. It's a company called DOT Works. DOT Works. And I think that's WORKZ. DOT Works. But yeah, they are the ones. In fact, I've got something coming from them real soon. So there you go. Jan's first and third base. What kind of show is this? It's baseball. We're talking baseball. Kyle needed 3 cameras and only had 1 network drop and no available switch. So I tried these extenders together. Huh. Explain that one to me. So you piggybacked them? You daisy chained them? No. Yeah? Tell me more. Tell me more. Tell me more. Tell me more. Okay. Coming up next week, while Kyle figures out how to tell me more, so he's got to gear it down so I can understand it. Coming up next week, we have one of the founders of Bird Dog. Not here in the studio, unfortunately. But Eamon Drew is going to come and chat with us about what's going on with Bird Dog, some exciting stuff. They got some great firmware updates that they're pushing out there. Some betas, in fact, that will knock your socks off. And, of course, they've got the new products that they announced at NAB, the P110 and P120 cameras, which are kind of the cousins of the P100. And the little brothers, little sisters of the P200 and P400. This is a P400 that we're using right here, by the way. We're streaming 4K 30 today. But anyway, the P110 and P120s are, I think, 10X and 30X versions and are sub $2,000 for full NDI and PoE and all that other stuff. Oh, and they also do follow. They do tracking. So those are shipping now. If you're interested in one, just shoot me a line. We'll put them in our store soon. So we'll be talking with Eamon next week about all that gear. And the week after that, my intention is to talk with you guys about something like this. And this is an inexpensive outdoor bridge. I think it was less than $100. And would allow you to put internet wherever you want. So we've got a situation here where we've got internet at the school, but the softball field is, 600 yards away. They don't want to run wire to it for whatever reason. And so I thought, well, let's try a couple of these little radios, this little wireless bridge, and see if we can't get internet going out there to the press box. And then it becomes wireless. So we'll play around with that in 2 weeks, and that'll be a lot of fun too. And just if you want to do your own research on it, that is KUWFI, Wireless Outdoor Bridge. And the qualification for this one was it's the cheapest one I could find. I think it was like $89, but it could have been $69. It was on Amazon. All right, so Kyle's got this. He says the extenders have PoE in and 2 PoE out. The first powered 1 camera, and the second device, which powered the other 2 cams. Get out! And did video? You did video over all of that? No. It had to be just PoE. You couldn't have been transferring video over one cable like that, could you? Tell me more. Inquiring minds. Yes. Inquiring minds. All right. So yeah. So as we approach the fall, I want to bring you as many different crazy concepts. Again, keeping in mind that we don't have an unlimited budget. We can't go out and spend $5,000 on wireless camera radios. You know, we've got to keep this stuff reasonably priced. But let's see if we can't put together some inexpensive solutions that just about anybody can know. All right, Kyle says, just remember, chain link fences block radio signals. Ask me how I know. Well, maybe you can come on the show and talk about it, Kyle. Yes. Yes. Oh, and Kyle says yes. Oh, dear. What question was I asking? I think it was PoE only was my question. Yeah. There we go. There we go. All right. Well, let's wrap up this part of the show, and we will go into the post-show. Just a reminder that Streaming Idiots is a wholly owned subsidiary of Eastern Shore Broadcasting. Eastern Shore Broadcasting is my little company, and we design and build streaming PCs using vMix, but we also represent BirdDog and PTZ Optics and X Keys and lots of other brands like Uon capture cards, things that we think can help you do live streaming better. And you'll find them probably for the same price from us as you would from Amazon or from B&H Photo or something like that, except you get my phone number. And so I can help you when it doesn't do what you think it needs to do, the way you think it needs to do. Anyway, and it won't cost you any more. So anyway, if I can help you with some of that, check out our website. And Kyle says, 2 PTZ Optics 30X NDI and 1 HuddleCam EPTZ NDI HX video and control for all 3. Get out. Get out. I got to see that. We got to talk more about that. That's too cool. We got to get that stuff on the show. Thank you, Kyle. Great. All right. We'll go to post show. We'll catch you in just a minute. We're going to hit the little purple button right here that says outro. Okay. All right, we're good. We're good. So I'm going to roll back in time and see if I can't get some info and bring them on in here. We had a good discussion. If you're watching after the fact, you don't have access to the live chat. So let me bring you some of it. Kyle had a summer video production class, so that was cool. Bill noticed that I happened to mention that I got a drone and used it a couple of weeks ago. So we were talking about things like that and maybe doing a kind of a Goodyear blimp stuff. And then DJ Vertigo says that he can help answer some questions because he's got his Part 107 certification. And Kyle says that they've got a DJI Mavic Air 2, which has an HDMI output, which is cool. So that means that you can you can take a hardwire output. I was able to get about a half mile on mine before I ran into interference. But according to DJ, you can be on the field if you need to, as long as you're not flying over people. Yep. So that would be the case. Yeah, are they going to hit somebody at ground level? We'll just have to see. We'll just have to see. And apparently prop covers help with making sure you meet all the rules. So, and then Chris joined us, and Tim said that the drone stuff gets more complicated after sunset. Yeah, I think it does. Under 30,000 people, the over people rule applies. And that the Hollyland Mars has worked well for DJs. And the Champions League finals had 32 cameras. And let's see, the school district is an initial planning phase to redo the football field and make it a multi-sport field. And I've requested that they think about running power and network. Good idea. Is there more to that tweet? I didn't get any more if there was. And Kyle would like suggestions for locations. Kyle, I know my friends in Daytona Beach, Florida, when they built the stadium there, they had, they actually built boxes for cameras because they wanted to be able to have ESPN events there for football. And I think Grambling State University uses that as their home field too. And so ESPN3, I think, would come in and do a lot. And so they ended up getting, you know, the boxes for full-size cameras. And in the boxes, they ran some proprietary connector. I don't remember with it what it was, but essentially it became either fiber, I think it was fiber, SDI fiber at those locations. So all they had to do was plug the camera into power and plug it into this fiber. And they also had comms there too. So that was nice. And then it came back to the central control, which was somewhere under the stadium. So yeah, you know, I mean, you might just think about where you're going to put cameras and get, you know, Ethernet drops to those and Cat 6E, 6A. I'll go back and check. Jan put it in the notes just a minute ago. Would be what you may want, because that'll do power, that'll do control. If it's PTZ, if it's a handheld camera, you can get a NDI adapter, the Bird Dog Flex, that will power it over PoE and has PoE out, so you can power the camera. Ken has got some suggestions about with track meets. And DJ is just using batteries. And Jan showed up late, so yeah, there we go. Let's see what else we got here. So Ken is suggesting just put in conduit, then you can run later what you need. And I think, Kyle, Ken's thought of putting conduit there, even if you don't populate it with cable, if you can get a 4-inch conduit underneath the track that has a, that has a box on either end, so you can plug into it from either end, or that it extends, that the part going onto the field has a box that you can hook up to. And the part on the other side, extends back underneath the stadium somewhere, so that you can keep all your wires either out of sight or disconnected. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And that was Kyle's suggestion about for switch. And this is Jan's note. There you go. If you go to Cat 6A, you can later upgrade it to 10G. And I would certainly suggest that. Sooner or later, you're going to want to put 20 cameras in there. And if you've got Cat 6A, you can put 20 cameras in there. And Kyle has got the voice of experience there. And here, I think he was talking about my phone number. If you need technical support or assistance with workflow or implementation, that kind of thing. There you go. Don't estimate the resources needed to add a drone to your production. You need a licensed drone operator. You need a way to get that video in and to communicate to the drone operator. Good discussion going on that I missed. Holy cow. Agree with that. I mean, part of me says, yeah, just leave it up there. Just get that blimp shot. And, when it's running low on battery, you've got somebody that can bring it down, put a new battery in it, send it right back up again. Haven't ever done it, but yeah. I would think any kid that's into video is going to go hog wild about a drone. But that's just me, I was that kid. I could have been that kid, but I wasn't that kid. Because all that stuff didn't exist when I was a kid. So, yeah. There you go. It's already happening. A drone over there, and there would be Sweden. A drone would require 2 people, a camera operator plus a pilot, or a POV pilot plus a spotter. And the pilot needs certification. There you go. And they would have to have a Part 107 certification here. Well, there you go. Let's put something together and get the details on this, because I think there's some people that could, would, should, might just do it. I brought the drone out today in class and instantly had all the summer students around me, not just the video production class. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Welcome, Red Devil. There's a cup out of Alabama that has a system that tethers a drone to the ground and can stay in flight for hours. Never heard of it. That's cool. Still probably legally would require a pilot. It would be a fixed video shot, but would still require a pilot. It must have a heck of a battery to be up there for hours too. But I guess that's, when you get into that high-end commercial stuff, yeah. Kyle, the Mavic that you've got, what's the flight time on the battery? Probably more than mine. I mean, my battery's only, it's that long, that wide. It has 20, 25 minutes in it. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you guys sharing what you have about drones. And I would love it if any of you would reach out to me so that we can have a conversation and maybe be able to put some of this information together and maybe go out and do a live demo somewhere. And Rich has done it. What hasn't Rich done? I mean, Rich is just, Rich is amazing in what he does. Jet ski races. All right, boys and girls. I think it's time for me to go back to work. These computers aren't going to build themselves. So, I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I will see you next week. Take care.